All right, welcome everyone to this meeting of the Joint Committee on Elections Policy. We are here to meet to vote to certify the fall 2015 election cycle. We are seeking to see whether or not there was abject corruption or voter disenfranchisement in this election, and we will be receiving reports from both the Elections Commissioner and the prosecutor to understand whether or not those are the cases. Is there an adoption of our agenda?
I motion to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent.
I second the motion and approve it. The agenda has been adopted. We now move to public comment. Is there any members of the public willing to speak at this moment? Seeing none, we move on to the reports from the Elections Commissioner first. Or do we want to switch that around?
You just want to stand?
You're okay. You're ready. Are you ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Okay.
I was born ready to go.
I motion to switch the. I don't.
Seconded.
You can't second.
Sorry.
She seconded. We had to switch the agenda to allow the prosecutor to go first and the commissioner to go second. Madam Prosecutor, you may begin your report.
Thank you. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the student government and the student body for this fall election cycle. While the beginning was a tad rocky and there were many things learned, it has been an extremely rewarding experience, for which I am most grateful. However, I couldn't do it alone. I'd like to thank Commissioner McRitchie, the entire Judicial Board, and JCEP for helping me through this process. A special mention to Chairman Dillard for assisting me heavily through the cycle and offering good counsel and advice to me in all cases. And to Elections Prosecutor Emeritus Peter Hutchinson for aiding me early on in my role and being a strong role model of what prosecution should be. I commend the aforementioned individuals for their hard work, commitment to free and fair elections, and extreme flexibility due to the various unexpected changes in leadership during this cycle. The following summary is broken down by individual race. Only the violations that went through the adjudication process, either partially or fully, are included. Many inquiries were sent, yet many were deemed false accusations, not actual violations, or lacking sufficient evidence by my office to proceed. Election policy violation notifications may be requested from my office should there be any concerns. In the undergraduate Senate elections for the class of 2019, there were a total of 3 violations that were brought through full adjudication. 2 were for the Majestic campaign. Both were dealt with by my office. And then 1 was Sam Schumann's campaign, which was additionally dealt with by my office. In the 2017 race, there was 1 violation by John M. Shapiro that was dealt with and handled by my office. For the at-large race, there were 3 violations. 1 for Trevor Brown, which was dealt with through the Office of the Prosecutor, and then 2 for Will Mascaro. 1 did not move to full conference due to the release of the standing election policy F-1501, and the second was dealt with through my office. In the SPA race, there was 1 significant violation. It was an ethical violation committed by the David Brenn campaign, which was moved to summary judgment under Chairman Dillard. In the School of International Service, there was 1 violation, but it did not move to conference due to the release of standing election policy F-1501. It was for Shashmita Kabash. And then in the School of Communications, there was 1 violation by Andrew Rakash-Sorrell, and it was dealt with by the Office of the Prosecutor. Otherwise, there were no significant violations in any of the other races. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions for the prosecutor? Thank you, Madam Prosecutor. We now move on to Chairman McRitchie to hear from the Elections Commission. Oh, round of applause. Wow. Oh, acting Commissioner McRitchie. My apologies.
Hey Chris, do you know if anyone's actually logged into that?
It's a report.
It's a recording.
It's not live?
No.
Okay. So, I took over last 2 Fridays ago. Before campaigning, 3 days before campaigning, I set up a strong system of communication with candidates. I enforced strictly, which was important in facilitating the needed information that was needed to go through me. Because I didn't have staff for the first 2 days of the campaign. Luckily, I eventually got 2 members of the staff to help me out. They were extremely helpful. Emily Ham and Alexander Bradley were helpful to me in doing the necessary jobs that needed to be done that perhaps I might not have time for. The website was an important tool which facilitated the processing of campaign materials, transactions, and staff, utilizing a complex system of website forms, Google spreadsheets, Google Forms, and Dropbox for the storage of campaign material information. And that was a very useful system. It's a system that, looking forward, I'm going to make held within the elections account, because right now it's only uses my personal accounts for some of them. So we'll move that into the elections account. So the next elections prosecutor can just sort of sign in and have access to all these different accounts in the various systems, and won't have to have the startup trouble that I had. So the contact forms are important for getting the right information for candidates or campaign staffers who are sending in information, and that's part of the reason why I enforce those so strictly. And another thing, the candidates were also able to check campaign finances and campaign staff on the website up to the minute that they were actually submitted, instead of previous elections when it was only updated once every day. So that was a useful thing there. Throughout the campaigning process, there were no major issues that rose to me. From an administrative standpoint, just various things in terms of working with candidates on different things. There was a forum that was held on Monday night with a bunch of freshman candidates. It was not sanctioned by the Elections Commission, but it was. I did aid in helping Christian McDonald through that process of how to request the RIM and so on. So no issues with campaigning. Voting was supposed to have started at noon on this past Monday, 2 days ago. However, it didn't start till 1 o'clock due to an issue over OIT that I was able to help resolve. There are other possibilities of why they started an hour late, but I will not go into hypotheticals in that sense.
Thank you.
So there was one issue with name spelling on the ballot, which was corrected within 15 minutes of it being notified to me. So that was a very speedy turnaround, even though I technically gave the ballot to the candidates beforehand and said, check your name. This candidate did not do that. Nevertheless, I did change it within 15 minutes, which was good, and thanks to OIT for that. We're going to close with 50 hours of voting time over the sort of 2 and 3 hour days. 2 days and 3 hours. OIT has delivered the results to me, and they're being tallied up by myself. And that is my report.
Are there any questions from the committee for All right, seeing no questions, thank you, Mr. McAtee, for administration of this election. The next part of our agenda is to now move to the certification of races. I hereby open the debate on whether or not these races should be certified. Based on the reports that we have received, it is my opinion that there was no abject corruption or voter disenfranchisement in this election. Do you have any points of debate?
I motion to
I second that motion and it is approved. The debate is closed. Is there a motion to certify?
I motion to certify the fall 2015 election cycle and all its races by unanimous consent.
I second the motion and is approved. The fall 2015 election cycle is certified. We now move to another period of public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, we now move to the adjournment section of our agenda.
I motion to send our certification to the Senate and adjourn this message by unanimous consent.
This meeting is, that motion is seconded and this meeting has been adjourned.
Ah. How did it go?
You can watch it.
Oh, you videotaped it?
It's very